The US President Donald Trump has defended his support for a US Navy SEAL who was convicted of posing with the corpse of a Daesh prisoner. Eddie Gallagher was demoted, but Trump intervened to reinstate his rank. The case has brought the president into conflict with his military officials. The US Navy chief has been fired.
We've been thinking about that for a long time. That didn't just happen. And I have to protect my war fighters. I've been gotten a lot of war fighters and people in the military have thanked us very much. It's about time. They had one young man in jail for 6 years. He had many years to go. And a lot of people think he shouldn't have been there. And I gave him a pardon. With Eddie Gallagher, you know that story very well. They wanted to take his pin away, and I said, no, you're not going to take it away. He was a great fighter. He was one of the ultimate fighters.
Well, for more on this, Yasmine El-Sabawi joins me here in the studio. Yasmine, what's this actually all about?
So Eddie Gallagher had been a Navy SEAL. That's the elite commando unit assigned to highly sensitive missions like the killing of Osama bin Laden or Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. Now, in 2017, he was deployed in Iraq and allegedly committed a slew of war crimes while there, which included things like indiscriminate targeting of civilians. But among them, the most egregious was that he had stabbed to death a Daesh captive with him and then taken a photo with the corpse. Now, his trial took place just this past spring, but even before that began, President Trump had already stepped in. He tweeted and said the military must loosen restrictions on Gallagher's pretrial detention. At the trial itself, Gallagher's own teammates testified against him, but a military jury ended up acquitting him of all charges but one, and that's the photo, the posing with the corpse. As a result, the Navy demoted him, but Trump, again, immediately stepped in, restored his rank to Chief Petty Officer. And that all sort of culminated this weekend when President Trump ordered the military to reinstate Gallagher's Trident pin. That's something that all Navy SEALs earn. This is something that a Navy review board was supposed to look at next week. That's not something where the president was supposed to intervene, but President Trump gave the order, essentially did away with the review board process, and ultimately the White House clashed with the Secretary of the Navy, and before he could resign, he ended up being fired.
And not for the first time, Trump in conflict with members of his own administration. He's having a battle with his own military officials. Is he overextending his authority here?
Look, ultimately, the president is the commander-in-chief. And as we all know, President Trump, he likes to do things his own way. And as he told reporters earlier today, we've heard him say this many times before, but that he likes to be the, quote, first president to do certain things, regardless of the kind of uproar it may cause in Washington. But look, keep this in mind as well, that like many issues in Washington, this is going to play out in a very partisan way. Trump's narrative is, I'm protecting the troops. But that's also the narrative of the establishment and the Secretary of the Navy that, well, we're protecting the troops as well, but we protect them by keeping discipline within the ranks of the military, because that's how the military operates. And something I think we can't ignore as well is that this is really Trump playing to his base and his voters. We're less than a year away from the election. Gallagher's wife had gone on several of the conservative news networks here in the U.S., ones we know for a fact Trump watches, and had pleaded with him to intervene in this case. So this is really Trump saying, look, I'm sticking up for the little guys here, the soldiers, rather than the senior military leaders at the top.
Yasmine, thank you very much indeed.